movement again.
Oh, he's gone. Welcome to SPORLITIKS, where sports and politics. Welcome to SPORLITIKS, where sports and politics mix and mingle. I'm Stacey Johnson. Joining me tonight is Aguna, the Nigerian moderate Republican. Keith, the constitutional conservative. Stephen, when he comes back on, the independent thinker. And my cousin Todd, who is missing in action. We've got a packed show for you at the end of the year. The House of Representatives today voted to open an inquiry for an impeachment against President Biden. Two-time all MVP Shohei Ohtani, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, Mr. Ohtani, agrees to a historic deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Supreme Court agrees to hear its biggest abortion case since Roe versus Wade. And congratulations to LSU's quarterback, Jaden Daniels, on winning the Heisman Trophy. Hunter Biden said he will not sit for a deposition by the GOP Congress. And he says his father was not financially involved in his businesses. This week in the NFL, and how did your team do? President Biden announces a $200 million aid packet for Ukraine as Zelensky meets GOP skepticism in Congress. The Ukrainian president was in the United States yesterday, had with meetings at the White House and with lawmakers on Capitol Hill, including senators and House Speaker Mike Johnson. The NFL is set to decide on the 2024 Brazil game today. Maybe we'll get word during the show. And the University of Pennsylvania president resigns amid controversy from the students' free speech rights as the State Department, that is the U.S. State Department, bypasses Congress to send thousands of munitions to Israel. Bernie Sanders says the U.S. giving Netanyahu another $10 billion is irresponsible. And nations strike a deal at the COP28 to transition away from fossil fuels and more, if we can fit it in. I don't know if we can fit any more in. That was a ton. First up, oh my goodness, that's Todd and the Eagles hat. I couldn't get over it. Let's start with the Eagles. Cousin Todd, what do you have to say about the Eagles?
Well, the Eagles, they lost. And it was predictable for me because I didn't think they could beat the Dodgers. And they did it. They just did a horrible job. But you know what? I think at the end, they probably will win the Stanley Cup. Keep hope alive. America first.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Just to add insult to injury, you had to lead it off with Tide. I like the hat, Tide. You need to pull it down a little bit more. Fluffiness, you need to fluff the little ball on top. And you can make it more poofy. So, you bring out your eyes and the beard. This was a horrible, anytime we lose to the Cowboys, it's a horrible week. But to lose in the way that we did, where we did, and when we did, prime time in front of everybody was just egregious. I do agree with Cousin Todd in the sense that it was kind of predictable in the sense of we typically split with them. It's very hard to beat them in Dallas. And they just had a chip on their shoulder from the last game. Again, they had to win this game to break even. And because of the tie-breaking scenarios, because they have one more divisional win over the Giants, they're in first place temporarily. Now, is it panic mode in Philadelphia? Now, as Eagles fans, we always panic. It doesn't matter. Even when we're doing good, we panic. And, even though we're 10-3, Eagles fans focus on style points and whether or not, we look like a 10-3 team. And we didn't the last 2 weeks, but we went up against some pretty good opponents. The offense sputtered. They turned the ball over 3 times. There was a lot of things to unpack in the loss to the Cowboys. On top of that, the Cowboys wanted it more. They had something to prove. So you went into a situation where it could have been a statement game for us. Had we went down there and won, a lot of the critics that are chirping right now wouldn't have been saying much. And we didn't do it. We didn't get the job done. So what does it mean? So for the first time in the last 2 years, we have back-to-back losses. Again, think about it. It's been 2 years since we lost 2 in a row. So you had a target on your back in the NFC defending champions, your division defending champs. You had 2 teams that were gunning for you because you beat the Cowboys earlier in the year. You beat the 49ers in the championship game last year. So they're coming for us. What is Sirianni going to do? How does he right the ship? I mean, the good news is we're relatively healthy. We got our linebackers back. We're going up against a very tough Seattle team on the road. I think we lost 7 straight in Seattle. So it's not going to be easy. They got Geno Smith rested. They got DK Metcalf angry, and they're fighting for their playoff lives. So this is not going to be an easy game by any means. Now, we do have the easiest strength of schedule down the stretch because we play the Giants twice, and we also play the Cardinals. But the Giants have won 3 in a row. They got this DeVito kid who's, Italian. He's in New York. He got the agents up there kissing his. And so there's momentum behind the subpar teams that we play down the stretch. But this is either put up or shut up time. This is where you're either a contender or a pretender. You should win out. The Eagles should win out. These teams that we're playing, none of the teams have winning records. You should win out. If they win out, they not only win the division, I believe they also win the I think they actually win the actually, no, they don't. If San Francisco wins out, we have a tied record. San Francisco actually has the tiebreaker because of their conference wins and losses and the head-to-head. So you got to win out. At least you'll win the division. You may get the 2nd or 1st seed. You still control your own destiny. So it's not necessarily panic mode. Why are Eagles fans panicking is because every game we played, we haven't won soundly. We haven't made statement wins. We're not winning with the style points. And what that means for Eagles fans is that means fire everybody and start from scratch.
Right,
we got 2 new coordinators. We got these rookie D tackles. Fire everybody, trade everybody, cut everybody, and start from scratch. As if Sirianni, who since he's been in the NFL, has never missed the playoffs. So I'll wrap it up with this, Stacey. Bottom line of it is don't panic. We'll see Monday night in Seattle what this team is made out of. Either they bounce back. Even if they lose, they still got a shot. But at the end of the day, good teams will win out. If they win out, they're contenders. If they start struggling down the stretch, even though I said they were going to be 12-5 at the beginning of the year, I don't care. You're at the point now, you got to win. So we'll see what they're made out of. Go ahead, Cousin Todd.
Okay. No, not Cousin Todd.
Not Cousin Todd? Okay, my bad. Steve.
Not Cousin Todd. I want to show this. If you're looking at the screen, let me play this. Listen to this.
Beware of false prophets. All right. So, yeah, we got to do a better job.
Thank you. Thank you, Cousin Todd.
The prisoners run the asylum or whatever.
Okay. Well, Stephen just sent me a text saying that I should not have questioned his manhood. And Stephen, I apologize. I didn't question his manhood.
Don't coddle him.
I didn't
just manhood question. He should act like a man. Stephen, come back on the show like a man. You want to go? Don't argue with the recording. You want to run off the show? Come back on the show. You're a man.
What do you say that
That's a good one.
Oh, that was you playing?
We on live, Stephen. When you step in the ring with me, Rick Flair, I'm gonna go.
I got a question. I got a question. Was that from
a recording? You can't talk to the recording.
Okay, let me.
No, I was talking to Stacey, but I can't.
Okay, that was a recording
from last week, right?
When you ran off the show. Don't run off the show. What's wrong?
No, I didn't run off the show. I was just done. I mean, if I can't talk and people are going to talk over me and she won't shut y'all down, then why would I stay on the show? That'd be stupid on my part. I can't get a word edgewise.
So let me say I apologize.
Scared. You wouldn't let me talk. You're scared. If you weren't scared, you would let me talk.
She's talking right now.
So was Aguna. Me and Aguna were talking too.
I said all that. Well, I started talking before you all.
You're talking now. You're talking while she's talking. You see how it works?
Guys.
You're talking.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. I started
You
that
muted
before
me. You
anybody
see
started
that?
talking. I said that before anybody start talking, so I could apologize first in the beginning of the show to Stephen for him thinking I was questioning his manhood. By no means that I think he's not a man. You are a man. I was
Cry
saying
me a
don't
river.
cry about things.
Ah,
And I'm saying
Nah,
that
some things are not cool.
I did
It's cool. We're cool.
apologize on the show, but you had left. So I wanted to show you
you
that so
ran.
you wouldn't think I
Oh
did
no,
not
we're
do
cool.
that.
No, I didn't run. It's no sense in me having no voice. And if I can't talk, then what is the sense in me doing a talk show or keep continuing? That's just dumb. So I was like, I'm
As
done
much
with
as
that.
you talk on
And
this
that's why
show, you don't have a
that's the
voice.
only thing that gets me upset is let's have a real discussion. Not when it comes to me, 3 people talk over me and I ask her to cut y'all's mics and she doesn't do it. That's pretty infuriating. And then on any level, I don't care if I'm a woman or a man or a child or whatever. It's pretty infuriating when
Or a
you
drag queen.
when you get your voice. My voice is cut the entire show. I'm cut off the entire show, and then when I ask for it, I don't get it. And I accept your apology, Stacey. I'm just talking to them. I'm just talking to them, not you. I accept your apology a long time. When you said it to me that last week, we've been cool. We were cool before it. You didn't even know.
So first
Stephen
off,
is being a
I
hypocrite.
do cut them.
He's the
Wait,
main one talking.
Okay, first
He
off,
talks over people. Now he's.
see, I'm cutting him off and he cuts himself back on.
That's
And I
right.
go through this back and forth, and you think, Stephen, I'm not cutting them off.
No, I know maybe you are, but why can't they just let somebody talk? Maybe maybe it'd be more manly of them to step back and let somebody talk. To hear what somebody else has to
You
say.
let us talk. You let us talk, Stephen.
Okay, so let me finish my point and then we'll move on. My point is I do put them on mute and let you talk, just like I put you on mute and let them talk. It's just that they continue to cut that mic off. And let's move on. We were on the NFL.
How about
Stephen, is there
Stephen not
anything
to
you
say
want to
dumb
talk
stuff?
about with your team?
Sure. Little boys.
Stephen, anything you want to talk about with your team,
I'm
the
on mute.
Washington Commanders? You're not on mute.
You're not on mute.
I was when I said this. You had put me on mute, but I didn't cut myself off. So with the Commanders, they need to lose. They need to keep losing. They're doing the right thing. They need to keep losing. They might get the 4th pick, 3rd or 4th pick, something like that. And I was talking to an old friend of mine. He's like, "Bro, we got to definitely get a quarterback." No, I don't want a quarterback. We have a quarterback that we can work with, that we don't have to pay too much money right this minute. Let's hold on to him and let's take that number 3 or 4, whatever we end up with, and how many losses we have, and let's stretch that down. Remember when we got that what's his name, Young, whatever it is, the defensive player, number 1 pick. I said, no, let's divide those picks up. We need more of it. We have a team that has problems. That's not a quarterback at this point. We need 11 players, not 1. We need linemen on both sides. We got some skill players that are good. We can still get something good, but we cannot worry about a quarterback because we don't have the luxury where we are. We're in the dumps. We're the lowest of the low, and we have the worst defense. We need an offensive lineman. We need some people on defense. We got rid of our 2 best defensive players. I mean, and got nothing really for them. So
you think you can win with Sam Howell as a quarterback?
Yeah.
You think he's
because
a franchise
he's tough.
guy?
He needs an offensive line. Nobody has been sacked as many times as him. And I know some of those sacks are on him because he's a rookie. He's new. He's going to learn. But he has like an it factor of a quarterback. And it's hard to see that when he's laying on his back. But he's got the arm. He's got the toughness. He reminds me of y'all's quarterback. He's that kind of mold where he can do it. They could do a push or whatever on him because he's a tough kid too. So I think they can work with him, and all you have to do is dink and dunk. We have a good team. We have good receivers. We have good running backs. Dink and dunk, but we need to protect him, and we need a defense that's going to stop somebody. And why we got rid of 2 players instead of just 1, I'll never understand. We're supposed to have changed all the management, and everybody's new, and we're going to change the name to the Commoders and all this, and we're supposed to be a brand new thing, and we're doing the same thing. We're not winning. What did it bring to us? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
So this week we have to lose, and I think they'll lose. I think they're playing the Rams. There's no way they're going to beat them. It's going to be good. But none of this is a reflection on our quarterback. They got to keep him. Don't waste that high pick on a quarterback unless it's I don't know who it is. I don't know.
Okay, so go ahead, Stephen, and then I'm going to talk about the win of Jaden Daniels from LSU quarterback for the Heisman Trophy. That's a picture of him you see right there.
Ever since I was in maybe middle school, I liked LSU. I don't know what it was. Just turned it on. I liked the colors, and I was really not into Virginia teams then, but I've always liked LSU. And this guy, he deserves this award this year because hey, maybe we can get him next year. Maybe we'll just get him as quarterback. I don't know, but yeah, he is of anybody that had won it. This is who I wanted, so we're good. I'm good with it.
Aguna.
Yeah,
I don't know, Guna. I don't think you like LSU, do you?
I don't particularly care. I do like the receivers that come out of LSU. They're a receiver university. So, I mean, you got some really great guys that came out of there. But, yeah, I mean, the Heisman, sometimes it becomes a popularity contest. But I think basically statistically, this guy really deserved it. I mean, again, kudos to these young men that are in the Heisman race. But LSU, they didn't vie for the SEC title, but he put up big numbers and he definitely deserved it from a very competitive conference.
All right.
SEC, the competitive conference for Cousin Todd, because he doesn't know, he probably doesn't even know what a conference is, but the competitive conference is the S as in Sam, E as in education, and C as in
Michael Sam.
All right. So next I want to go to Shohei Ohtani. Really, really weird. I want to share the screen. He got this contract with the LA Dodgers. He's with the Angels. And he's got this contract with the LA Dodgers. You see this New York Post thing that he got a $700 million contract. $700 million. And I'm going to start with Aguna and then Steven. $700 million to pitch. And wait, he's not going to pitch till like 2025. He's had his second operation on his shoulder. He's unable to pitch at this time, but they gave him a $700 million contract. They don't say anything about any of the options in the contract. It's all really secret and quiet. And he's going to be a hitter while he comes there, but he's not going to play. $700 million. He gives most of the ads to Japanese businesses. And why, Aguna, is he getting $700 million? We don't know what the contract is about. He's not going to be able to pitch in 2 years. He's only going to be able to hit.
Yeah, I mean, clearly this guy is a marketing dream for them or something. I just want to know who his agent is, because I mean, for you to get basically $10 million a deal, it's $10 million a year, is it? No, it's not.
700.
$70 million a year. Good Lord Almighty! And think about it. NFL contracts for quarterbacks are about $250 million for maybe 4 or 5 years, if you're lucky. This is crazy money. I mean,
that's crazy money.
But
I'm not going to hate, because again, you can get it if you're worth it and they pay you, take it. But that is crazy.
Is he an American citizen? I'm just curious.
He may be.
The conservative populist.
He may be an American citizen.
Why does it matter?
Oh, it matters.
We don't know if he's an American citizen or not. But if you look at this article,
American citizen.
And besides,
in the New York Post,
if they paid him the money, maybe he's great and bad.
Exactly.
So you look at this. It says a new layer of
he's
intrigue.
Getting that much, he's making more for them.
It says a new layer of. Excuse me. It says a new layer of intrigue has come up after he signed that 10-year, $700 million contract, with most of the money deferred. He has a clause in the deal which states if specific change in Dodger personnel, player may opt out of contract at the end of the session of the season that this occurred, that the change occurs. You see that? The opt-out clause is contingent on owner Mark Walter and the president of baseball operations, Andrew Friedman, remaining in their roles with the franchise. Stephen, what say you?
The thing is, he's deferring a lot of the money, most of the money, way down the road to help the team out as well, to help them to be able to get, other players as well. It's good for him, and it's a tax thing when he's going to leave California in 10 years or whatever. It'll be like tax deferred. It'll be better for him. The taxes right now, not from then or whatever. But I heard something about it just today, as a matter of fact. But it's just it makes sense. It's like it makes fiscal sense. I mean, this may be the new trend of what people are going to do. They're going to eventually get paid, but it's going to be delayed to way down the road until they get much more of their money, just to help with the team and everything else. That's just to make sure they can keep winning. If they can't win, not keep winning. But you think that really bothers me, Stacey, is he's just going to be hitting. And how long is that going to go on? Is he going to eventually, when he gets his arm right, gets his arm back, is he going to be pitching again? Is he going to be back to where he was? I think it's a really big gamble on him right now. Yeah, after that, who knows? That's just so much money. And I love the guy, and I was pulling for him. And he would have had broken everything, all the awards, all of it. He'd have won everything, but he got hurt. But Stacey, do you know if they're talking about him pitching again? Is it serious?
They're talking about him pitching again, and they're talking about him pitching. You see here, he earns $50 million in endorsement revenue, which is separate from his.
Yeah, that's why he can do. That's why he can do this.
And
I understand that.
He can do it. They said it's worth $46 million per year. But they said, I'm looking for it. That's him. That he underwent surgery this past September, and is expected to be available as a hitter in 2024 and return to the mound. That means he's returned to pitching in 2025, like I just stated. He's not going to be.
Yeah, that's what I missed.
2025.
Right. Okay. So I thought he was going to be. He wasn't going to play at all till 2025. I got you now. So 2024, and then he's going to on the mound. Okay. Wow. It is a lot of money for somebody who's coming off an injury. I hate injuries because you just never know after one what's going to happen.
All right.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Well, the reason I brought up whether he was a citizen or not is because if he's not, then that shows that America is quite a great country to be able to sustain such a person who is not even a citizen. He is not white privilege. And therefore, I just think America is a great country, to be able to do this, to be able to afford.
So crazy. You sound beyond dumb.
America is a great country, though.
America has nothing to do with the baseball team.
There's still no white supremacy there. No white supremacy at all.
It's America's sport. Baseball is America's sport.
All of that from a contract. You got all of that from this contract.
He hasn't even produced yet. He hasn't even produced yet.
God bless us, everyone.
He hasn't produced anything.
So there's so much passion based on a contract.
He has produced it. I mean, for you to say he hasn't produced it,
because of this contract
isn't true.
You hear that, listeners?
You're saying he didn't produce.
Because of this contract, America cannot improve whatsoever about anything it ever done. Because look at this contract. Look at this baseball contract. We are the shining beacon on the hill because of this baseball contract that's not affecting anybody else.
Which America has nothing to do with.
That America,
isn't that great?
The land, the free, the home of the brave.
He has people he has to pay like agents and stuff, man. So it affects other people. He pays his maid. He pays his guy that cuts his grass.
There are no more flaws.
It affects a lot of people.
There's no more flaws.
It's just an example. He's just giving an example. That's all. It's like
let me move
we can all agree we live in a pretty decent country. Overall,
nobody's denying that.
That's right. Yeah, let's just all agree.
For him.
Let's just all agree because I
excuse me. Okay, welcome to Sporlitiks, where sports and politics mix and mingle. Your name is Kissinger Pack.
Yeah, Kissinger Pack in the air.
There he is.
What's going on, y'all?
Okay, how you doing?
Hey, Nas, don't you agree with me? Nas, don't you agree with me, man?
No, I didn't hear words you said, but I know you're incorrect.
I agree. Everything what Steven says is right.
We were talking about Shatani, and Keith asked if he was a U.S. citizen. And I don't know. I looked it up, but it doesn't say he was a U.S. citizen because I think he just came in a couple of years ago. So I don't know. It doesn't say. I can't seem to find anything about that.
He's a legend in Japan. Famous Japanese baseball player, the greatest Japanese baseball player of all time, comes over to America. So no, he would. I mean, I don't know why Keith would assume he was an American. That's
Well, he's the
insane.
greatest in Japan.
No,
Well, he's asking if he got citizenship.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
Why didn't he? Why did he come here? My point is, he came here for
To
a
make
reason.
to make money.
I thought you already
Thank
made
you.
your point. You're going to take another turn?
Thank you.
Well, I
Thank
think,
you.
I think what he wanted to do was to prove himself against the best players in the world because he had already proven himself in his own league where he's multiple, time MVP and everything else. But here's the other part while you're doing your clapping for some reason as if you're correct. But when Japanese players come over to America, the teams are forced to pay a percentage to the former Japanese team and to the country. So there's a form of tribute that has to be paid before they come over here. Something that didn't happen to the Negro leagues in America when the leagues were raided for all of their talent and then bankrupted. Just wanted to add that to the situation so you could get it.
Nas,
Okay,
I
thank
hear
you.
you.
Would you rather have a Negro and a Caucasian league?
It's
I mean,
not
I thought-
about what I preferred. That's what the country preferred. That's what the country did.
I think the country
Steve.
preferred to have all the best people in all the best positions for sports.
You would be incorrect because they did this for 100 years.
I know it was for 100. I know that, but eventually people came to their senses and decided it's better to win than lose. So it's better to win than lose. So let's just get the best people. If he's from Japan or Nigeria or wherever the hell Todd's from.
There's a lot of great ones from Nigeria.
They just made a mistake for 100 years over and over and over again.
Wherever Todd's from, hilarious. Let's move on to Keith and Steven's favorite topic, Hunter Biden's laptop.
I thought it was
as
Dr.
Adina
Fauci.
says.
I thought it was gay
No.
people.
No, let me
Dr.
play
Fauci is
this.
a murderer.
Let me play this for educational, informational purposes only.
Why can you play that, but you couldn't play my video?
Here today to correct how
Hey,
MAGA
you
right
don't play videos
portrayed
on the
me
dark
for their
web.
political purposes. I am first and foremost a son, a father, a brother, and a husband from a loving and supportive family.
I breathe oxygen.
I'm proud to have earned degrees from Georgetown University and Yale Law School.
I
I'm proud
drink
of my
water.
legal career and business career. I'm proud of my time serving on a dozen different boards of directors. And I'm proud of my efforts to forge global business relationships. For 6 years, MAGA Republicans, including members of the House committees who are in a closed-door session right now, have impugned my character, invaded my privacy, attacked my wife, my children, my family, and my friends.
No,
They have ridiculed my struggle with addiction,
no,
they have
no,
belittled my recovery,
no,
and they have tried to dehumanize me,
no,
all to embarrass and damage my father.
no.
Did that yourself.
Yeah,
who
you
has
did that
devoted
yourself.
his
Exactly.
entire public life.
Not talking to the video.
For
Well,
6
me and Nas both are. We can't help
I've
it.
been the target of the unrelenting Trump attack machine, shouting, "Where's Hunter?" Well, here's my answer. I am here. Let me state as clearly as I can. My father was not financially involved in my business, not as a practicing lawyer, not as a board member of Burisma, not in my partnership with a Chinese private businessman, not in my investments at home nor abroad, and certainly not as an artist.
I agree with that one.
During my battle with addiction, my parents were there for me. They literally saved my life. They helped me in ways that I will never be able to repay. And of course, they can never expect me to. And in the depths of my addiction, I was extremely irresponsible with my finances. But to suggest that is grounds for an impeachment inquiry is beyond the absurd.
Only told the
It's
truth.
shameless. There is no evidence to support the allegations that my father was financially involved in my business because it did not happen. James Comer, Jim Jordan, Jason Smith, and their colleagues have distorted the facts by cherry-picking lines from a bank statement, manipulating texts I sent, editing the testimony of my friends and former business partners, and misstating personal information that was stolen from me. There is no fairness or decency in what these Republicans are doing.
Wow.
They have lied over and over about every aspect of my personal and professional life. So much so that their lies have become the false facts believed by too many people. No matter how many times it is debunked, they continue to insist that my father's support of Ukraine against Russia is the result of a non-existent bribe. They displayed naked photos of me during an oversight hearing. And they have taken the light of my dad's love, the light of my dad's love for me, and presented it as darkness. They have no shame.
That's so crazy, Stacey.
Wait, Stacey, how come you can play
I'm going
that
to
one?
stop there.
Well, let's just stay on.
I'm going to stop there, and we're going to start with Keith. I told Keith I'd give him 1 minute uninterrupted, right, Keith? To make your point.
That doesn't
Correct,
mean
Keith?
that you're. Yeah, I don't say that you're interrupting, but let's see if the other guys agree to it.
Okay,
All
so
right.
Keith, I'm going to put your 1 minute up, and you can start. Go ahead, Keith.
Well, first of all, the main reason they ought to investigate, do an inquiry towards impeachment is because of the article of the that talks about that that's in Article 2, that he must be sure that the laws are faithfully executed. And he has not done that. He has undone everything that Trump did on immigration. So that, I can just say, is the number one reason in my books, in my view. All this stuff about Hunter Biden and all that crap, I don't even think about it. So anyway, so there are three irrefutable facts that they mentioned. Biden lied to the people. His family profited millions of dollars from the Shell Corporation. And also Biden's agencies are stonewalling the investigation. So those are just three basic general categories. I can't go into detail, but that's it.
Okay. So
you were not interrupted.
Everybody on mute.
You were able to
You were not interrupted.
as clear and audible as you could.
Good.
You were
a
able
lot of
to
good
get your
things. A
point
lot of good
across.
things to say.
So let me bring Aguna in about Biden, the impeachment. The U.S. Congress today, the House of Representatives voted to move ahead with an inquiry into possibly impeaching President Biden. They have no evidence. How could they have supported that vote, Aguna?
Let's see.
Because again, it's about raising money. It's not even about that's there or not there. Because if they were using any rational logic, like with the crap that Keith just said, please, these guys are trying to raise money for re-election, and they're trying to fulfill campaign promises by looking for any and everything to impeach an opposition president. And that's just the way people should be outraged. In fact, I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, it's one thing if he had some evidence of wrongdoing. What Keith just articulated, or at least tried to, just because he undid what Trump did doesn't mean you can impeach somebody. That doesn't make any sense. Why? Well, maybe you were saving money. He's executing the office of the executive office of the president. That's what presidents do. Okay, you lost the election. Therefore, the next administration has the right to make these decisions. Yeah, they can use executive order. All this stuff is underneath the guise of the Constitution, whether or not Keith want to interpret it a certain way or not. The bottom line is no laws were broken. So at the end of the day, they're just wasting people's time. And again, look what they're doing. They're basically doing an inquiry, meaning we're exploring the possibility of the possibility of the possibility of the possibility of the possibility that we may be able to impeach this guy. It's a waste of time. People should be outraged.
Now, Stephen, my question becomes for Hunter Biden to go and say he will not show up to do a deposition for the majority GOP House of Representatives, how does that make him any different than Jim Jordan, who ignored a request or a subpoena to show up?
It doesn't matter right now. This guy's untouchable. He is that mafia Don. What do they call him? Teflon Don. Nothing can happen to him. Nothing. He's fine. There's nothing they can do to him. But all the evidence for his dad and his family. Joe Biden is a very sick human being. His whole family's very sick. Look at everything they've done. Look at everything they do. Look at the daughter talking about her dad, Joe Biden, when she's a teenager, taking showers with her. Look at everything the son has done. Look at Joe Biden throughout the years. Listen, they said he's not a decent guy. He's a really, really bad guy. And that's why his son's a bad guy. But the fact that he was on drugs and he's crazy and all that is nothing. All of the evidence, Guna says there's no evidence. They have 2 laptops. All the evidence of all the robberies from all the countries, from everything they're doing. What is that? What is that? Everything that they have done is obvious. If you don't know that, I will send you, Stacey, everything. What else do you need to know? And that does it. Everything that they've done with his businesses and that they have gotten the money, that they've gotten money, and his dad has gotten money. That's why that's why this country's in the shape it is, because of what they do. They are the most crooked. He is the most crooked president we've ever had. And if you think this is good, maybe this is good for you. I don't know why you think it is. Because believe me,
Stephen, you keep talking over me. I gave you a minute. No one interrupted you.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you, Stacey. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Thank you. Cousin Todd, the Biden impeachment and the fact that Hunter Biden would come out and actually address all the questions that are put to him by the GOP. One minute.
I saw Jim Jordan reprimanding Biden for refusing to show up. And the thing is, white boy Republicans have no shame at all. He did the same exact thing and then reprimanding him for doing it. How dare he? Without any sense of, hey, you're a hypocrite. Not me. And these people say nothing. This is Stephen and Keith. They don't say, Stephen just ran right over it. Jim Jordan didn't show up. He was subpoenaed. Yet. So Hunter Biden is such a bad guy. So anyway, you don't care. Right.
I didn't care. I said I don't care if he does it. It doesn't matter what he does.
Excuse me, you're interrupting him. He didn't interrupt you, and he still has 10 seconds left.
No, I want my time back.
Give him 20. Give him another minute.
So anyway, the thing is, this thing about Hunter Biden. It's just a ruse, but it makes people like Stephen and Keith, who are low information voters. Yeah. He you know what he did?
Really?
And Stephen said a whole bunch of nothing. He's got 2 laptops, 2 of them.
What's on the laptop? I don't know.
You don't know what's on them?
And I'll tell you what's on them. They got monies. They got. Do you know Jim Jordan would be showing that laptop on Fox News on every bribe he ever did? So that's not the case.
Whataboutism. You're talking about whataboutism.
And he
stay on topic.
Was investigated for 6 years, Stephen.
Stay on topic. So you think that Biden is cool?
Talking? We all
I'm just having a discussion. I'm saying
not to interrupt anybody. Why are you doing?
Well, he's gone way over a minute. We're having a discussion now. I want to know what is it about? What is it about this?
He's being a hypocrite, Stacey. He's being a hypocrite. He's being a hypocrite.
He told you to give Todd another minute, and now he's saying he talked over it.
Can't hear you, Stacey.
Stacey, you're on mute.
I'm sorry. Stephen, you told me to give Todd another minute.
I didn't know you actually were going to do that. I was being facetious.
Look at this. Jim Jordan, shut your pie hole.
And Aguna jumped me. Didn't you hear Aguna say, don't give him another minute?
Okay, a Kissinger pack. You see this article from USA Today. It talks about how the Republicans formally authorized their impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden, and the House voted along party lines 221 to 212 to greenlight the inquiry. My question would be, how much time and money is the House going to waste, and why make the point or try to impeach President Biden?
This is just dirty smear, dirty trick Nixon era politics. You're just doing something for the basis of telling your base that you did something. This is not going to really see the light of day as far as, going anywhere. So you just get up there and tell your base, hey, we did it. We're the ones who took the impeachment further. And, the base who doesn't read much and stays in echo chambers and constantly is fed disinformation, they're willing to believe it. So to them, it becomes a rallying cry. And, the saddest part about all of this, and hopefully I stay under my time. I'm sorry, Stacey, if I go over, I'll try to stay under. The idea that like everybody has a member of their family who has gone through some kind of tragic thing with drugs or some type of substance abuse. Now, that family member has a lot of cockamamie schemes that they come up with and try to introduce people to. And you know what people in the family say? Oh, yeah, okay. And they never go in with them because they know the person doesn't know what they're talking about. So the idea that the president of the United States is using a former crack abuser as a go-between to launder money, when if he actually wanted the money, the countries would just simply file as a pack, give the money to Biden or to the Trump administration or whoever they want to give the money to, because it's legal. It's not illegal for a foreign country to donate to an American candidate. So why the hell would they give the money to Hunter Biden? It's like, even your story is stupid.
But they did. It's all in black and white. All you have to do is read it.
Where is it in black and white?
That's untrue.
Everything is damning on the laptops. They don't.
You just
everything is on the laptop.
Now you're saying laptops. The laptops where the chain of custody was from a pawn shop to a former Giuliani friend to Giuliani, and then you tell, we got.
No, it wasn't. It went straight to the FBI. It went straight to the FBI.
I think you need to read again.
They went straight to the FBI.
You need to read again, sir.
You're saying that the laptops are not real? That the information on laptops are not real?
Custody on the laptop.
No, it ain't a chain of custody. You're making up a chain of custody because you just lie, but keep lying, man. That's all right. I don't care if you lie. That's your soul. That ain't my soul, baby. That's your soul.
You might really be a disturbed human being, dog.
No, I just tell the truth, and that disturbs you.
No, you don't.
No. I understand. Let's go. Hey, let's move on to Israel.
So this is his new tactic, Stacey. This is his new tactic. He's going to talk and walk around. Nas just walked him through the logic, and he still won't accept it because he just doesn't want to believe it.
What logic did he? No. Bring it back.
The chain of custody from the laptop.
That's what he says. No, it's not. No, it's not, because there's two laptops. Did it happen that way both times? Because there's two laptops that were turned in at different times. This is what y'all are saying is untrue. What the media tells you, the media is lying to you, and you're lapping it up. Little Mama Bird is the media, and you're sitting there with your little mouth open, and she's spitting information into your face.
You don't know.
I know. Now, what I'm saying is there's two laptops.
What's on
that? Excuse me. All right, I got to move on.
There's enough on those to have everybody involved hanging.
This is sad.
It is. Watch. Just hold this watch.
Good job. I know it makes you hurt to actually use
just watch.
At least you tried.
Just watch.
1 minute, Keith.
A for effort.
I'm on the right side. You're on the wrong side. I don't care what side you're on. I'm on the right side.
Now you're talking.
Steven, I keep talking. You guys keep talking over me.
I know, but they are too. Aguna's still talking, so I'm answering him.
Try to make sense.
Can we listen to the host? Can we listen to the host?
You're wasting air.
Y'all don't know the truth. Y'all don't know the truth. I feel sorry for you.
Aguna. I just put Aguna on mute. Now, Keith. Let me go back to the screen. Okay. In dueling remarks, as you can see, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that Biden spar over Gaza's future. Israel's prime minister says he won't allow the Palestinian Authority to take over Gaza. Why is President Biden sparring with him, and how can President Biden stop Netanyahu from what he says he won't allow to happen?
Well, because Biden is wrong. Biden is not really in favor of Israel. Like he said, he's been undermining Israel all along. Deep behind the scenes, they undermine Israel's attempt to eliminate Hamas altogether.
By doing what?
Only take over Gaza because they are already protecting the Palestinians, and it's the Hamas who are holding Palestinians prisoners. So it is not Israel that is oppressing Palestinians. It is Hamas that is oppressing Palestinians and making everybody think that it's Israel. So yes,
Okay.
he is wrong, and he shouldn't be involved. He should let Netanyahu do what he has to do and provide those weapons
Not
or
with our
whatever he
money.
needs. And that's what we
Yeah,
need
with
to do.
American money. Okay, so
He
everyone
can just
doesn't
take
agree
our
with
money,
that.
do what he
Aguna,
wants. He can take our money, do
you
what he
don't
wants.
agree with that. So he can take the $10 billion that the United States gave Israel and not allow what to happen, not allow what President Biden says the Palestinian
Ukraine,
Authority
Look, Fred,
take
this
over
is the
Gaza.
logic. I want our listeners to listen to
Ukraine,
this logic. I'm going to give you
Ukraine.
$10 billion. And you know what? I'm going to give you $10 billion of military and all kind of aid, but I'm going to undermine your ability to use it because I'm really supporting Hamas, not you. But I'm giving you $10 billion. And oh, by the way, if I tell you how to use or tell you what to do with that $10 billion or tell you, hey, you may not want to go in there and bomb innocent civilians, all of a sudden it's me that's helping Hamas oppress the Palestinians, not you who's actually dropping the bombs. Oh, by the way, it's Hamas suppressing the Palestinians, but Palestinians can't go to and from Gaza like they want to. They can't work in Israel without certain scrutinies and certain security clearances and backgrounds. But it's Hamas that's doing all of that. But
It is.
if we come in and
It
say,
is.
hey, you know what, Israel, look, we're going to give you money. We still support you. We've always supported you. But hey, let's slow down on what you're doing because not only we have American
Your minute
hospitals
is
in
up.
there, we have other people in there. The world is watching. It's a humanitarian crisis. The more you avoid addressing these issues and look like the aggressor, the worse this situation is going to be. So we're going to give you this
Time
money,
is up.
but you need to slow down.
Your time is
All of
up.
a sudden, that's anti-Semitic
No.
Israel. That's what's happening.
No.
Okay, Aguna, your time is up. Thank you.
What's wrong with this guy?
Steven,
Ukraine.
No, you
You have
don't
a
let up. You don't let up. You know what? If it was Joe Biden, Obama, they were both on the side of Iran, and Iran is the same as Hamas and Hezbollah. It's all the same. This is what he's mad at. Joe Biden's mad at Netanyahu. That's why he's going up against him. Zelensky could say, I want everything, and I want all your children. Okay, you can have everything.
Oh, walking and chewing.
But you know what? Netanyahu said, I will not hire your son, Joe. I'm not going to hire him. I'm not going to pay him to sit around and just take money and launder money. I'm not going to do that because he knows that Joe Biden and this administration is the most corrupt administration this country has ever been through. And if you can't see that, if you don't hear that, if you don't know that, then you're the most ignorant people I've ever been around, or maybe you're making profit off of this somehow. I don't know. But they're going to
conversation.
This is like OAN levels of dumb.
okay,
Like,
thank you.
Right.
We're at okay, thank you. He's finished his 1 minute. Kissinger.
Good man.
Your comment on Kissinger, your comment on the dueling remarks between Biden and Netanyahu and who will win.
Well, I mean, ultimately, Biden has check power. If Biden decided to call and tell him to call all this off tomorrow, Netanyahu would have to. Like,
no,
he's the one in control. U.S. presidents have always had that control over Israel because Israel could not function without U.S. funding. So that's number one. But number two, and this is where we get into the politics of everything. If you go and you watch the reports of all these people protesting outside of Netanyahu's house, he is under fire at home from the people for
corruption,
allowing the event to happen, for his corruption charges, which he was trying to beat by showing he has the strong hand, which has not really lifted him politically. And then Biden, who's tanking poll numbers because a lot of young people who voted for him with the idea that some of the things that they believe in, that Biden would support those things, they kind of made a Faustian bargain with the idea of giving up on Bernie Sanders and rolling with Biden, and they are disappointed. So both of these guys are politically in trouble right now, both, taking on water in their campaign. So here we are.
Thank you. Cousin Todd.
Same question.
Yes.
Biden is not going to, though, cease giving money to Israel. He's old school, and the show must go on. I think had we still had Obama, there would be efforts to stop the money flow to Israel until they cooperated. And Israel never cooperated with any U.S. president. They've been told over and over again to stop building on Palestinian land, and they continue. So Benjamin Netanyahu is like a hard-headed person. He's going to do what he wants to do, and he's been doing that. And as far as to continue to bomb,
You have 10 seconds.
it is not smart because the world is against that. When you've already bombed and killed almost 20,000 innocent people trying to get to Hamas. Well, you can't continue to kill innocent people trying to
They're not
kill
innocent
Hamas.
people.
And
Steven,
these are children.
No, Aguna asked me. I said they're not innocent people.
No. No one asked you. You started laughing in while he was talking during his time.
All
But
right,
I'm going to
whatever.
stop you, Todd, because we're going to move on. But I don't want you saying people interrupting you. You can't do what you want to do. Or
Yeah,
you can't
this
say
is-
what you want to say, but we let you.
Well, this
Well, I
is
thought
how we
everybody-
operate.
I
It's like-
thought
everybody was put on mute, Stacy. I didn't know. I don't take
I
myself
know.
off
I
of mute.
do
all
it
he
the
does
same
is
way.
lie
I
and
don't
make
take
excuses.
myself off of mute.
Shut up.
When I laughed, I didn't know you could hear me.
I didn't
And
know
then
you could hear me.
talking, and you would not stop. But then if somebody does that to you, Stacy, put them on mute. Stacy.
No, there was three people
Stacey,
talking
I'm
when I was
aware.
trying to talk.
When I was trying to talk. No, when you started repeating yourself over and over again, it got redundant.
Over
And no,
over
I had just started
over.
talking when y'all were talking over me.
No, it
Well,
was a
hey, go
long
watch
mouth
the
clearing
video.
as
Hey, go watch
usual.
the video.
Okay,
Watch
let me move
these.
on.
Go watch the video.
Yes, please.
Okay, Ukraine. Let me share my screen. It just happened. USA Today reports that the United States Senate okayed $886 billion defense spending bill with pay raises for troops and Ukraine aid. That was written today by Rochelle Looker, published at 7:39 p.m. December 13th, updated at 7:51 p.m. today. Now, you know Congress is going to go home for the holiday recess, like we'll have a holiday recess after this show. They're having a holiday recess, but they passed tonight this $886 billion defense spending plan that has to go to the House. The question is, will the House, Kissinger, pass this bill and give Ukraine the aid, considering that President Zelensky was just here yesterday lobbying himself, Congress, and the president?
Well, you got to give it to Zelensky. He shows up with his begging bowl on time. That boy comes over here to get that money. But again, we know how these things play out. So the DOD, Department of Defense, private contractors, American jobs. That's what this is always about.
Always
and
about.
This will continue, and nobody's going to slow this down. So the checks will be cut. Sorry, Ukraine, you will get the idea of defending your nation, but eventually, the way this thing is looking, Zelensky is going to be trying to get citizenship somewhere else as this war continues to crater on, this losing war that they're fighting. But again, man, we're a country based on our military, and we've got to keep spending the money. So that's what we're going to continue doing. And this doesn't matter who's in charge. D or R, the military gets their cut.
That's morally reprehensible. That's morally reprehensible and horrible for a country to do things like that. Are we any better than anybody else when we do that?
Stephen.
It's great for our economy.
It doesn't matter. Innocent.
Stephen,
Yes,
I have a question
yes.
for you, Stephen. One of the questions is, will Ukraine eventually succeed the portion of Ukraine to Russia that Russia is currently possessing?
Yes, and all along we should have stayed out of it, not given anybody any money, and not perpetuated any of this, because so many innocent people, so many more innocent people than have died in Gaza have died in this war. So many
That's
innocent people.
incorrect. That's incorrect.
No, it's not incorrect. I don't care what your
The
numbers
numbers
are,
say
but
you're
because
incorrect.
whatever you say is not going to be the truth. I don't care what your numbers are. I don't care.
Numbers
Go
are
ahead,
There's
numbers,
so
sir.
many
I'm sorry.
innocent people. There's
Mr.
so many
Kissinger,
innocent people.
Mr.
This
Kissinger.
war never should have happened. There's soldiers that are innocent in this war. They have died that never should have died. There's children and women and everybody else. None of this would have happened under Donald Trump. This is all about politics, and this is all about making money, and this is all about being evil and saying it's okay because it's American jobs and we're making money. Look at all the money we're making. It's so good. We're making money. What you're doing is you're selling your soul, and you don't even know it. You don't even care. Maybe you know it, but you're selling your soul.
No
You say,
one-
we don't
no
care
one
about,
said they
we don't
agree
care
with
about
this.
all the death and
The
destruction.
question
And you know
was,
what?
would
And
it
you think,
continue? And the answer was
you think,
yes.
well, what continue?
Okay.
Well, what
No,
continue,
That was the
Stacey?
question she asked you.
The question,
Stacey.
She
my
said, would the
question was,
funding happen and would the war continue? That's what she
The
asked.
funding is
She didn't
happening. Why is
ask
the
if this
funding
was a
happening?
morally correct
Excuse
war.
me. Why
That's
is
a
the
different
funding
answer.
happening if they cannot
Excuse
win?
me,
In your
let me
own
tell you what
words,
my question
in
was.
your own words, it's
Stephen,
cratering.
Stephen,
No, wait a minute, Stacey.
Stephen.
Wait a minute. In
Wait,
his
I'm
own words,
This
Stephen,
he
no,
says
man,
it's
don't.
why
this
are
man
we
is
spending?
sick.
Why are we sending more money to? Why are we sending good money after bad money, Stacey? Is
I
what I'm
just told
asking.
you why. You're a sick
Why?
person.
My
Please let the host
question-
speak.
My
Why?
question was, will the Russians take the land of Ukraine that they possess now? They possess a part of Ukraine which is closest to Russia. Will they be able to keep that land? And then we'll stop the Ukraine-Russian war. You
Yeah.
have 20 seconds.
Yeah,
Yes?
they will.
Answer?
Yeah, I think they will, and I think that's the way it should be. None of this had anything to do with the United States. We never should have given billions and billions and billions and so much equipment to them. Now we don't have as much as we should have. Are you people stupid? Do you think we're going to be able to defend ourselves with what we're doing
Yes.
to this country? No,
Yes.
we're not.
We have.
You're delusional. You're delusional. Why
Yeah,
are
but
we
if you're
why are
having a
we doing
conversation,
why are we
like,
doing
why do you
what we're
keep
doing?
calling people stupid?
I didn't call anybody stupid. I said
Okay,
delusional.
Okay, so the question to you is, do you think this war is morally correct? And the answer would
No,
be,
I don't think the war is
Nobody
morally
else
correct,
does either.
but I don't think it's
We
any of
all
our
agree.
business. The war in Israel is our business because
no.
if they
Whoa,
succeed,
what?
stop. If they succeed in
It's
taking,
hypocrisy.
stop. If they succeed in taking down Israel, if all of the countries come together to take Israel, we're next. What is wrong with you people? The only war that matters right now is the Israel war, and they need to wipe out Hamas. They're not innocent. Nobody's innocent over there. They're the ones that attacked Israel. Why would y'all be on the other side? Why aren't you not on Israel's side?
Your time is up.
Okay, thank you. Stop.
But
You
Stacey,
your time is up.
Stacey, did you see me extend an olive branch? He didn't understand the question. He thought the question was about the moral obligation of the war. I explained that you asked a different question, and then I asked him. I gave him the chance to say, "Look, do you think the war is morally right?" And instead of just saying no, which most of the people on the panel agree with, that the war is morally wrong, he said, no, the war is morally wrong. And then he started attacking everybody else as if they didn't agree with him. Like this
But
is
it's none of our business.
This
The
man
war's none of our
making-
business.
That's his
Stacey,
opinion. That's his
so here's
opinion.
the
Yeah, but
hypocrisy
Go ahead,
of what
Aguna.
Stephen is talking
yeah,
about.
and
But do you agree with that?
He might be
Here is the
mentally ill.
hypocrisy of what Stephen is talking about. The reason
1
why
minute,
we
1
went to
minute, Aguna.
Ukraine and the reason why we're funding Ukraine is because it's a diplomatic tactic that we've always used. We're using Ukraine as a proxy. Russia is spending a lot of money, a lot of troops. There are a lot of, just like in Afghanistan, if you look at it historically, they're doing the same thing in Ukraine. They're bogged down. And the longer it draws out, the more unpopular the war is. So so you're sitting there saying, hey, Israel is our business, but the Ukraine is not. But the U.S. has always done these type of diplomatic actions where, we're funding our war complex because we're U.S. jobs. We're spending out our arsenal. B, we're getting Russia involved in a war that's grinding to a halt. So we're getting them bogged down into Ukraine. And you just said the reason why we're over there in Israel and doing the things in Israel so Hamas won't come here. We're doing the same thing in the Ukraine because while Russia is attacking
Russia's not going to attack anybody else. They just want what's theirs back.
Can I finish
Ukraine
my
is
point?
theirs. They want it back.
You're out of time.
Can I finish my point?
It's not different. It's not the same. Israel is not the same.
Stephen, you talked over
No, it's
him.
not.
Russia, we've been in a war.
No, it's not.
You have talked and interrupted.
Everybody.
Russia is not coming here to take us.
We're going to stop.
They're influencing our election. We're in a cyber war
No, they didn't.
right now. We've been fighting Russia for the last 10 years.
Stop. I told you both to stop. Just stop. Stop talking. Stop talking. Thank you. Let's move on. We got to move on. Sorry. Not sorry, but we have to move on. We're going to move on to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court today announced that they agreed to listen to an argument about abortion pills. This is the first time they've taken on anything abortion related since Roe versus Wade overturned. The overturning of Roe versus Wade. Let's start with Keith. What is the point of the Supreme Court agreeing to take on the case to listen about the abortion pills?
Well, Stacey, I haven't read anything about it, but I'll just freestyle something.
Keith, you have a minute.
Are you asking me or Nas?
Go ahead, Keith. You.
Okay. Well, the abortion thing, that's not going to ever die down. We're just going to have to face that. So, we disagree on this show. We're going to continue to disagree. So I don't really need to go into any more detail about that.
You seem to be avoiding the direct question she asked you, sir.
No, she asked me why, look, I told you, because they want to deal with it because it's not going to die down. So they're going to go ahead and deal with it again. They're going to deal with this. They already ruled on Roe v. Wade, and now they're talking about the pill. So the pill, to me, it's the contraceptives are already available. So let's see where they go. I don't have any idea where they're going to do it. I mean, any woman can get a contraceptive pill, can get a pill. As far as
this is like the Simpsons, Abe Simpson, when he starts answering questions, he just talks
18 years old or under 18 years old.
Thank you, Mr. Kissinger. 1 minute.
The parents' consent. So that's the way I
Keith, take notes. So sorry, Stacey, I have not read into this story. I've missed this one. I'm gonna have to read up on it next time. I can talk to you about it in a way that's informed.
Okay, thank you. Aguna, 1 minute on the Supreme Court, why they took up the abortion pill case.
Well, if you look at, they pushed a lot of the decisions down to the states with Roe v. Wade. They basically said it's not the federal government's purview to engage in abortion. Let the states decide, right? So now with the pill, because this is such a complex issue, you're going to start seeing a lot of these types of lawsuits that are taken back up to the Supreme Court. You're going to see a flood of lawsuits from both pro-choice and anti-abortion advocates, just to kind of create this logjam of decision that the Supreme Court is going to have to do as a result of that Roe v. Wade. So this is just one of those where there's so many different nuances when it comes to contraception in this country, is that now you're going to have to rule on every little scenario, and it's going to bog down the court, and you're going to see, and this is where you possibly will see a reinforcement of Roe v. Wade, is because now that you've made that ruling, you're going to have to deal with all these types of decisions. And this is just another example of that.
Thank you. Stephen, same question to you.
Okay, we're talking about the pill that not the morning after pill, but we're talking about the pill what women take sometimes to help them with their periods are cramping and their everything else, and it's like it's a health thing for them, and also they can have sex and not make a child upon conception. We're talking about the pill, right, Stacey?
No, it's not the pill. It's an abortion pill, so you can take.
Oh, it's the abortion. It's a day like the day after pill or whatever they call it.
Yeah,
and there's certain parameters around time.
Okay, I thought you were talking about like the pill, because that's how I was hearing what Keith was saying. I was like, is he talking about the pill? No, this is Keith, and I think Keith might be confused a little bit. Keith, this is the morning after pill. This is like an abortion pill. If you come up pregnant.
It's a little bit less than that,
Stephen,
because the morning after pill.
You don't have any time. You've got 15 seconds, Stephen.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, it's like I think everything should go to the states, like the Constitution says. Like every other abortion, every other thing that's about abortion should go to the states. So if this has to do with abortion, it's a states' right issue, and it's nothing else.
Thank
So
you.
that's why
Cousin
the
Todd.
Supreme Court's doing it.
1 minute, Cousin Todd.
I think Republican white men should stay out of women's vaginas. They're not even that interested in them. So stay out of them. And so
Even doctors.
So anyway, stop talking.
Shut up, Keith.
Even gynecologists.
Keith, you're interrupting his 1 minute, and you said that we didn't want anyone to interrupt your 1 minute, but you're interrupting his.
That's the typical white boy Republican.
I just wanted clarity.
Now that's a comment. That's a compliment to him. He
A
called me
clarity
white.
on an issue you couldn't speak about when given the chance. Just shut up.
And
Go
so
ahead,
when,
Cousin Todd.
when this goes
Go ahead.
back,
I'm going to give you money. I'm going to reclaim your time.
And I think most of these cases are going to go back to the Supreme Court because abortion should be legal. And right now, did we get to the abortion case of, I forget the woman's name from Texas?
No, you can talk about it. It could be a part of this.
Okay. Well, there's a woman in Texas that her doctor told her she wanted to have a baby.
But you have 20 seconds.
Okay, well,
tell us about her first date.
This is ridiculousness. You let these clowns just wreak havoc on your show, and you come up with this dumb time thing. I'm not playing.
This woman, she's a happy woman. She wanted to have her children. She wanted to have more children.
All right. So we are almost out of time. I want to make sure that we have covered everything before we go into our roundtable.
We didn't cover
Israel,
anything
Gaza,
because
Ukraine, Hunter Biden. We did the abortion pill. We covered that. The last thing I want to cover is the COP28 deal, and that'll be a part of our roundtable. And from there, you can add on what maybe you wanted to add on. Okay. How about that, Cousin Todd? So we'll start with Keith, then we'll go to Stephen, then we'll go to Kissinger, Pat, and then we'll go to Aguna, and then Cousin Todd. Let me show my screen, share my screen with you. I hear something in the background. Somebody playing something. Nations strike a deal at the COP28 to transition away from fossil fuels. And this is by Valerie Volkovici, Gloria Dickey, and William James. It was updated 2 hours ago, written today. So in Dubai, representatives from nearly 200 countries agreed at the COP28 Climate Summit to begin reducing global consumption of fossil fuels to avert the worst of climate change, signaling the eventual end of the oil age. The deal struck in Dubai after 2 weeks of hard-fought negotiations was meant to send a powerful message to investors and policymakers that the world is united in its desire to break with fossil fuels, something scientists say is the last best hope to stave off climate catastrophe. Your comments on that, starting with Keith, then Stephen, then Kissinger, then Aguna, and then Cousin Todd. Keith.
So back to the Stone Age. Okay, so they want to prevent us from using altogether using fossil fuels. Well, back to the Stone Age. That's all I can say. And we will definitely be going backwards. And that's why I believe that at some point God will
use whale oil. We use whale oil.
Go with the interruptions. The only thing I can say is that God will sustain us and God will intervene. Eventually, that's what's going to happen. God's going to have to judge this nation, and he's going to judge those who will not be on his side. He's going to draw a line in the sand. He's going to say, you're either on my side.
Are
and
we
stand
still
with
talking
me,
about energy?
the other side, and
What are we really talking about here?
Yeah, just
you will
let's
have
fast
to make
forward
it.
his turn.
Once
Jesus
again,
Christ.
once again, when I start talking, there they go. And
Okay,
that's okay.
please let him finish. Please let him
Go ahead.
finish. Go ahead, Keith.
Fossil
I
fuels
don't
in the Bible.
I don't get as upset as Stephen might think he might get upset, because I know that these people, when they get upset and interrupt, it's because they know that they are perishing. They know that their ideas are falling to the ground and they have no weight.
Well, you
So
appear to
all
be the
the
one who's defending oil when the rest of the world is saying differently.
Nas
So,
accuses
No,
me
the
of.
rest of the world is not saying different. The rest of the world uses oil
did you
and
just
makes
see
a
the
lot of money
conference she
off
was
oil.
talking about?
So
Okay,
there you go.
please
Are
don't
you
interrupt
are
Keith.
y'all
Let
doing
Keith-
like, is this an act? Are y'all like a
No,
two-man team?
They
no,
can't be
Is this
this.
an
Kissinger,
They
act?
can't
please
be this
stop.
stupid.
Kissinger, please stop and let Keith finish, please, so I can move on. Keith, you got to sum it up.
So I'll just say this: back to the Stone Age. That's all, as far as they're concerned.
Thank
I
you.
mean, I never seen anybody with a consistency of destroying their own nation. These
You should
people are
hold a
trying
mirror up. You'll see it every
and
day.
bring them down, and that is quite obvious right now.
Yeah.
As far as the Supreme Court goes with abortion, I just wanted to say on the
Abortion,
tail.
dude. We're talking
I want
about
to
the.
say, I'm going
I
back
told
to.
him,
Come on,
wait a
man.
minute, I told him he
Take
could
them
add on if something that he
Come on,
missed
man.
out on. Remember, because I told Todd he could do that. So he's taking that because I told that for Todd too. Go ahead, Keith. Finish up, please.
As far as the abortion goes, I would say that since Nas and all the rest of you, you don't care. You don't care about life. I do care about life because God cares about life. And so that is going to always be an argument that's going to continue to go and continue. It's not going to end, because even if they give the power back to the states, somebody is going to sue and take it back to the Supreme Court. So it'll never end. I guarantee you it won't end. It's going to continue. This whole argument about abortion, and whether it's the pill or any other contraception. All right.
You're
So
right.
thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Keith.
you, Stephen.
Yeah.
And we're talking
Um,
about, if you look at the screen, we're talking about what happened in Dubai today. Representatives from nearly 200 countries, including the United States, agreed that climate summit to reduce global consumption of fossil fuels to avert the worst of climate change, signaling the eventual end of the oil age. Go ahead, Stephen.
Yeah, nobody cares about the climate. That's all a ruse. That's all fake. China builds a new coal plant every week. Do you know that? Do you know that? You know, India, they don't have anything on it. Well, we have all the restriction on us. Our president, Joe Biden, said there will be no more coal plants in this country. We can't have them, but China builds one every week. China's doing oil. China's with oil. Saudi Arabia, you think they're going to give up oil? No. Everything they're doing right now is to cripple us because Joe Biden is compromised. Joe Biden and his son and everything they have done has made him compromised. And that's why we are China's biatch. We are China's biatch. How does that make you feel? Do you think you feel strong? Are we the strongest country in the world? No, we're China's biatch. We do whatever they want. So if we're going to drive electric cars, there's no way we can sustain that. If we're going to cut out oil or fossil fuels altogether, and natural gas is really, really, really clean, and maybe we could build some nukes, but we can't do that. Maybe we could do something else, but we can't do that. Because what we're doing is that they're destroying the country that y'all live in. Now, you must really hate your country. You must really hate your mama, your daddy, your children, your grandchildren. You must hate everybody because we are being destroyed because of the administration that
Are you
y'all
gonna cry?
know that it is really sad that y'all are so corrupt and so stupid that y'all would support the people that are in charge of this country right now that are China's biatch. So that makes you China's biatch. You know what Keith and I aren't? We're nobody's bitch.
You're not smart people. That's what you are.
Yeah, we're
Where's your
smart
shirt
people.
made?
We're smart people,
Hey,
and y'all are
Stephen.
suicidal. You're
Stephen, look at
suicidal.
your shirt.
Thank you.
Where was your shirt made? Where was your shirt made?
Okay, that's at Aguna. That's at the
You're
end of the
China's
show.
biatch.
I got to
All
move
right,
on
Makes
to his
look,
makes
older
no
back.
same place your shirt
Excuse
was
me. Go
made.
ahead,
You're done.
Kissinger.
You're done.
Kissinger.
You're done.
Right.
You know,
Kissinger,
No.
it's
please.
funny.
Go ahead.
I
Look.
was in
Hey.
Yeah.
I was in
Kissinger.
Dubai.
Aguna, no. You're next after Kissinger. Let Kissinger go, and then you.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, okay,
Kissinger.
yeah. I'll be brief so we can get Aguna's direct experience in Dubai. So this is the whole world understanding that not only does climate change and catastrophe, a process that's gonna happen if we don't change our behavior. BP and Exxon, they've talked about this for decades. They actually did the research before nations did. So they already knew about this beforehand. So this is nations coming together, figuring out this is not the elimination of oil. This is countries saying, okay, how can we use less oil and what other methods of energy can we use that are sustainable that won't cause as much damage? That's why we're getting into people experimenting with hydrogen power, which the Japanese are doing a lot of. Here in America, there's 2 nuclear power plants being built in Georgia right now. We're looking at nuclear power, and there's going to be a million different ways and concepts and ideas that people come up with, and figuring out different ways that humans can stay on the planet without us causing damage that makes it unlivable. So no, this is smart. You're putting the brain trust of the world together to try to figure out things. And the hysteria and panic, guess what? This has happened at every energy change in world history. During the days of sail, as steam came along, people said, oh, well steam power is coming. So now the sail, what are we going to do with all the sail? Well, things gradually change from the horse carriage to the car, from steam power to oil power. The same thing is going to happen in this scenario. We're going to figure out better methods and better ways to do things, and it's going to make for a better world with less catastrophic situations that are caused by us. That's all this is. So beautiful that the world got together, and especially for an oil dependent country, to be hosting it is a great step ahead, because that shows that the Saudis, that the people over in the Middle East are understanding that, okay, there's going to become a point to where we can't just depend on oil energy, which is why you see the Saudi fund buying into things in America and Europe and everywhere else, because they realize they're going to have to, diversify their portfolio. They can't just depend on oil prices. And I'm in there.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
You're making too much sense.
My bad.
Yeah. So now that Nas just stole a little bit of my thunder, I can tell everyone about my experience in Dubai, which is one of the Emirates that makes so much money off of oil. In fact, Abu Dhabi is the emirate that makes money off the oil. Dubai is mostly tourism, which is why they hosted the summit. And oh, by the way, if you go to Dubai and you look at some of the things that they're doing, a lot of energy efficient ways to conserve energy and alternative ways of energy. Electric vehicles are doing all kind of stuff outside of oil. Why? Because A, you don't get high off your own supply. They rather sell oil than use it internally to their country, because they're entrepreneurs. The other thing is oil is not sustainable. And because it's not sustainable, you're going to use your money that you're making from oil to invest in other opportunities to be the next energy provider or the next innovator. It's called good investment. So they're sitting here and they're investing in all this. Meanwhile, you have people on this show like Stephen talking about China, who's doing, by the way, the same thing. Just because they're investing in coal mines now doesn't mean they're not looking over, because in China, they have a 100-year plan. They're not worried about 2 to 3 years like we are on this show. They're looking at generational. How are we in the next generation going to control this planet? So you better believe they're investing in all these things. Now they need to make money now, which is why they're sustaining their economy, because they're in a recession right now. But they are all looking forward thinking. They don't have a bunch of cavemen on this show trying to quote the Bible just because we're moving away from fossil fuel. Oh my God, we're moving away from fossil fuel. It actually creates an opportunity in this country for us to be the innovative leader in some of these alternative fuels. Now, I guarantee you that back in the 80s, the Republicans were the party of conservation, the party that they were getting all these government land grants and things like that. If the Republicans were out here saying, hey, let's look at alternative fuels and things like that, everybody, Keith and Stephen, would be on this show. They wouldn't be talking about China. They'd be like, yes, we got to get behind those electronic vehicles. It's the Democrats who are evil, who want to go to coal and all this other stuff. It's all about narratives. So just because it looks like the Democrats are behind energy and about conservation and about using electric vehicles, that's why you guys are against it. You're not even looking at the common sense around it. And if you invest in these different types of energies and technologies, you actually advance your society and you're becoming at the forefront, which is what America has always done. So you sit here saying that how much we hate this country, but you're the ones that are going backwards and not even investing in the things that made this country great, which is being the innovative leader when it comes to technology, when it comes to conservation, when it comes to world, when it comes to anything. We're on the forefront. And let me just, one last thing, Stacey, you cut me off when Stephen was talking about the Ukraine and how this money going to the Ukraine somehow is going to deplete our own military capability, which is the most asinine and ridiculous thing I've ever heard, because we have the world's #1 military. Our Coast Guard is the 10th largest military in the world. And you think by giving a couple of pennies to Ukraine, somehow we're not going to be capable or ready when our military stays ready? Come on. These are the false narratives. Pick up a book, Google, whatever you got to do, but you can't come on this show being ignorant like you've been the next year. Let's use this break to put your weight up, get smart, and come on here and give us a challenge for once instead of this old babbling stuff. You know better than I expect bigger things from you and Keith instead of this nonsense.
Good job.
Thank
That
you.
is a New Year
Well
resolution.
said. Well said.
Thank
New Year's
you.
resolution.
Jesus, read a
Cousin
book.
Todd.
You're on mute, Cousin
You're on mute,
Todd.
Todd.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you
Okay.
mute yourself.
Yeah, I did, because I'm not Stephen nor Keith. So I wanted to, I mean, it's just common sense that we're having all these storms, the weather's horrible everywhere, and they think that has nothing to do with global warming, and it does. So we are advancing in electric vehicles and stuff like that, and that is smart to do. It's just a smart thing to do. We're not in coal mines anymore, and those people in coal mines didn't live past 65, and so the company was glad because they didn't have to pay any retirement. But I want to go back to this abortion case. Kate Cox was her name. And her doctors advised her to get an abortion because the baby was not going to survive. You see, that's a physician. That's somebody who studied medicine. The baby's not going to survive, and it may hamper her chances of ever being able to get pregnant again.
You mean not a quack?
And so, but now the government steps in, who hasn't even taken a biology course, and says, oh, no, you can't do that. This woman wanted another baby. She has children. She's married. She wanted another baby. So it's not like, these radical right-wing Republicans, they want abortion on demand. They go to the nail shop to get their nails done. Then they say, I'm going to get an abortion. It's nothing like that. And that reminds me of that welfare queen thing that Ronald Reagan started. These people don't want to get an abortion, but because of their health, they have to. So that's that one case. But there's another case, and there's going to be plenty of these cases, by the way. Brittany Watts from Ohio. Because one thing leads to another, the government keeps reaching in more and more. Now, she was pregnant and she wanted a baby, but she went to the bathroom one day and had an abortion. Her body aborted the baby. And so the baby came out stillborn. The baby was dead. Well, she's from Ohio. She's about to go to grand jury, and she's facing 2 years in prison because the government thinks she may have killed her baby, even though physicians and forensics said the baby was dead. It was stillborn. She still has to go to court, and she's facing 2 years in jail. This is how sick this thing is becoming. When you have these silly white boys all in women's vaginas, which they don't want to be there anyway, but they can't help themselves. And so what's happening is this is getting more and more serious. It's not about just getting an abortion because, she had sex and then she didn't want to get pregnant. She should have used a condom. It's not that elementary. Things happen when you're pregnant. My mother, for example, had a situation like that where she was in the bathroom on the toilet and she miscarried. This happens to women. And my mother had 6 children by that time, 7 children by that time. She wanted another baby. It wasn't about aborting children, but these kinds of things happen. Now, if she didn't clean out, meaning get everything out of her, she would have had to have an abortion so that they could get everything out of her. I know you don't know anything about that. So that's called an abortion. Or else you'll leave a dead baby in you and then you will die. So who gets to determine that? You? Somebody who's a silly white boy working for the government? Or your doctor? So again, government has no place in a woman's vagina. But they don't think women are equal to men. And this should be taken to the Supreme Court. And then I'm finished. All men are created equal. That doesn't say women are. That's your assumption that they meant women as well. But I say they did not mean women, because women did not have the right to vote. Women were considered second-class citizens. Women were property of the man. And so they did not mean women. So women should not have these rights that men have, because they were never included. Take that up in the Supreme Court.
Okay, so Cousin Todd, it is spelled vagina, vagina, not virgina, virgina.
Whoa.
How would you
if
know?
we're doing corrections, you got about 30 minutes of Keith and Steven that you need to go over. And
Oh,
really
she's not going to
elucidate,
do that.
for your
No.
audience.
All
She's
right,
not going
so
to do that.
thank you for joining us. It's been an incredible week, an incredible year. I can't believe it. Like Congress going on vacation for the next 2 weeks, so will we be. We appreciate you listening and tolerating and sharing some of your time and headspace with us. It's just been a great year. We'll see you 2024. Please be sure to check us out while we're going on YouTube at our page, SPORLITIKS. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Stephanie Stallworth's The Flow Television Network. We're also going to be putting up videos of everyone saying their favorite things on TikTok over the holidays. Check us out on TikTok at SPORLITIKS, and Twitch and X and Instagram.
Did you tell
Thank you
them
for joining us.
when we're coming back?
We're coming back next year. That's what I said.
Okay.
Hopefully
But when
Eagles
next year? When next year? It could be February of next year. Be clear, Stephen.
It's going to be any time that's not in a woman's vagina.
Hey, Stacey, if the baby is already dead, then that woman didn't kill that baby. And if they can prove that, then the baby's already dead. But if a woman kills a baby that has no issues with it, no problems at all, maybe she should get 2 years in jail.
Wait, how can she prove that when she's...
But wait, I got to get out. Excuse me. I got to get out. To our first responders in our communities, you make our lives livable. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To the women and men of the U.S. military for all that you do in sacrificing your lives so that we are free to say whatever we want on this show. We are forever indebted. On behalf of our superstars, one is Aguna with an O, the Nigerian model. Keith, the constitutional conservative, his video's been choppy. Okay, now we see
that
it.
phone was made in China.
Steven, the independent thinker.
The world, get a new clock.
It doesn't even tell time, but it's right twice a day, like me. It's right twice a day, like me.
Kissinger Pack, we are thankful for you. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us and our listeners. Kissinger Pack.
Yeah, we've been waiting to smoke that pack for a long time, man. It's amazing. Got to smoke that Kissinger Pack in 23.
Yeah, he did a lot bad.
Todd, who has never worn an Eagles hat until he's worn a few this month. Prior to that, he never wore an Eagles hat.
I have plenty of Eagles hats. I just don't wear them.
Get
out of my face, you superstitious weirdos. I've got plenty of Eagles stuff. I just don't wear them. I'd rather wear my good drag.
Thank you, Todd. What? You said good drag.
Casey Johnson.
It's called drag. Your clothes are called drag clothes.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me. Let's keep this conversation going on all the platforms I talked about: Twitch, X,
do we have to?
Instagram, TikTok, Stephanie Stallworth's The Flow Television Network, and please be sure to like and subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, where you can catch all our previous episodes. We love you. Thank you. Good night. We'll see you next year. And I think it'll be January 3rd or 4th. Good night.
Did you say Merry
Much
Christmas,
love.
Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa?
Happy
and all
holidays.
that?
Happy New Year. Much love to everybody.
Oh, this host.
Now
is
I'm going to let you
awful.
all say that. I'm going to let you all say that
Merry
right
Christmas.
now.
Happy
Go ahead.
holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy whatever what you're
Oh
doing.
my gosh. You said
Happy
Kwanzaa.
peace,
And
love.
Happy New
Peace,
Year.
love. Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year.
So we're going to be after the New Year before we get back, Stacey?
Of course,
Mhm.
she didn't make that clear.
No,
It
I
will
know.
be
We're going to be
January
That was pretty
3rd.
clear. That really wasn't hard to
Yeah, it was.
understand.
I was just getting double. I knew
I
that's what
know.
it was, but I just wanted to make a point that that's
We
so
have
far from
third
now. We're all
graders
going to be
here.
so much older after the new year. It's going to be a whole
No,
year. It's
you
like
and Stephen will be much older. You're
I
already
feel like
much
I
older.
feel like I'm gaining a year
I
every
mean,
about
goodness
every
you.
month now.
Well, you
You
are.
look
You
like
look it.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I should look it. Walk a mile in my mittens.
Anyway, now this is what I was going to say to you, Stephen. How do you know the baby was dead? No,
Because
mind
if
you,
the doctors said that her doctor said it was dead and it was
Okay.
dead, it was a proof that it was dead, and then
Slow down.
and it goes to court
Slow.
and it was dead, then it was dead, and then she didn't abort it.
Okay, wait.
A dead
Now
baby
go
came through her.
slow and don't
But-
repeat yourself. Just say it
But
one
what if
time and
it's a
that's it.
baby that's alive, that's viable,
Okay, we're not talking about
that
that.
could
We're
live forever?
Hey.
There should be a
We're only
punishment for
talking
that.
about one thing at a time, crackpot. You said, no, she should be able to prove it. She can prove it. She could. No, her doctors already said that.
Right.
But the
So she goes to
government
court.
doesn't. Why should you have to go to court and you just lost the
I
baby?
don't
that you
know.
wanted? I don't know.
Dude,
Stay
There's a
out
lot of
women's
times people go to
vaginas.
court and they shouldn't have to go to court. I agree.
So
This
anyway,
should
the
not have to
point
go to
is-
court. I agree with you, but they will win in
So
court.
now do you understand the problem of your so-called take it back to the States and making
No.
this into a criminal possibility? You
No,
don't see the
because
problem? That
no,
they're
I don't
holding
see
it
the
up for
problem
3
because
years?
in a fair court they will walk away.
Why should you even have to go to it?
Right, she shouldn't even have to go. I don't know why they're
Okay,
doing
but
it.
she
I don't know.
does.
I don't know all the
Steven,
details of the
Because
case.
you are advocating for this law. That's why.
I'm not advocating for the law. I want people to be treated fairly. That's all. Even the
Steven,
people that haven't been born yet.
Aren't
Then
you like a
shouldn't
libertarian?
advance that law.
Steven,
Yeah, I want people to be treated fairly, and I do not believe in
Steven,
murder.
Are you a libertarian? Aren't you a libertarian leaning person?
I lean libertarian in some ways, but in a lot of ways they're insane, and I don't lean the way that they do in some ways.
I'm just going to ask you a straight up question. All right.
Right.
Who would you trust more to make decisions about your health and your family? The government or you?
Me.
Or your doctor. How's that?
No,
Trust
me. I
yourself?
don't trust the government. I don't trust the government, and I don't trust doctors. I would trust me. I would trust my woman, and I would
All
tell
right,
my woman.
so
I
the
would say,
government
hey,
shouldn't be making
according to everything I know,
The government-
that murder is wrong.
government
If that baby was born, if that baby born
You
and was
just
1 day
said
old,
You don't trust the government to make decisions when it comes to the
it's not.
health.
No, I don't
welfare.
trust the government. No, but you talk about states' rights. I'm talking about for me. I don't care about the government or what the doctors say. I'm talking about what's right for me.
All I know when it comes to abortion, because nobody on this show is pro-abortion. Nobody believes that abortions are good. We believe that it's a private decision between a person.
No, it's not a private decision to kill somebody.
Yeah.
You're killing a
Well, let
person.
God judge. You shouldn't be able to judge. God is
No,
gonna
it's not
judge
about judging. It's about we don't let people. If that baby was 1 year old or 1 month old or 1 week old,
Yeah, that's
or
a
if the
completely
mother
different
got
scenario,
shot,
you
if the
moron.
mother got shot,
Yeah,
and
that's
both the
not-
mother and the
not the
baby
same.
died, it would be a double homicide. So how is
Okay.
it a double homicide? How can a
Stephen,
woman
no,
kill?
no.
How can
Is
a
that
woman
baby-
kill her
Because
baby?
people
But
like
if I
you
kill her
advance
and her
laws
baby,
like this.
if
That's
I
why.
kill her and her baby, I'm a double murderer. But if she kills her baby, it was just an abortion.
Steven, as with the scenario is if my child is in a car accident and he's on a ventilator, and it's me and my wife are sitting there saying, hey, you know what? We may have to take the child off this ventilator. And because
why? Because he's in trouble?
Why?
Because he's not going to make it, maybe?
Is not going to have a sustainable life.
Right. All right, but I'm talking about a baby. I'm talking about a baby that's healthy. I'm talking about a healthy baby that doesn't have any issues.
No, but see, here's the problem. There is no
can't,
such thing as a pregnancy that's not high risk. Every pregnancy is high risk. It's between that person.
Some are more high risk than
their God
others.
to determine.
Obviously.
No, it's not for you and me to determine. Every
Some are more than
pregnancy
a.
is high risk.
No, it's very
There's no such thing as a
99% of
healthy,
abortions are
it's
not
high risk. Every
necessary.
pregnancy, women,
99% of abortions are
women
not
die
necessary.
That's a made up stat. You're a moron.
I'm not a moron. You're a killer. You support
I'm
killing
just saying,
babies that
see,
haven't been born.
all we're
I
saying
don't.
is
You're a moron.
privacy. All
You're
we're
a
saying is
dumbass. I
privacy.
don't care.
Okay, I want to
No,
play.
No,
a
it's no
clip.
privacy. If that baby is
Uh,
1 day old,
Okay,
or if it
you
before
already said
it's
that.
born for
Just
1 day, you
shut
can
up
kill it.
with your
In some
stupid
states, you can kill that
scenarios.
baby.
Shut
You can kill
up.
that baby to the 9th month.
Oh God.
But if
Just
it's
Okay,
born
so
the next day, you
up.
can't kill it. Even if there's
Nobody's
nothing wrong with the
he
baby,
never
if the mother
stopped.
and the
He
doctor
never
agree,
stopped. He keeps
you can.
repeating over the
Do you
same
understand
thing
what I'm
over and over.
saying?
scenarios
We
to
got
prove
it.
it's
I'm not
Everybody
repeating
understands what you're
anything.
saying. It's
You
not
are.
complicated. The problem is you're a moron.
Okay, I
Do
want
you
to play
think
a
it's
clip.
okay to kill
I
a
want to play
baby
a
that's
clip.
in good shape?
We're not saying
No,
that. We're
nobody
saying it's none
does.
of your
Why do you
business.
keep asking
It's none
that
of your
question,
business.
you
Because
damn
you
fool?
support
I'm
the actions
No,
of that. You
no,
do.
no.
saying
We're
it's a
saying life
private
is
matter.
Yeah.
complicated.
Government should
And when
not
you
be
put these
involved with it.
catch-all laws out there, what you end up doing is putting innocent people in terrible situations, and it's difficult to adjudicate these things. It's
But
not
that's
as
why you leave
simple
it to
as,
the
oh, do you
states.
want to kill the...
No,
It's
it's
not
still the
that
government.
simple. That's why
Not
that
the
shouldn't be
federal
done that
government, the
way.
states. The states have
I don't care
it's
what government. I
constitutional
don't care if
Which
it's
because
state?
federal or
Which
they were
state,
state.
Okay,
wise
Stephen?
so you know
enough to
Which
what,
put it
state?
on
Todd?
the
You damn
states.
Excuse me.
moron.
Was
Which
best for my
state?
family.
Okay, excuse me. Go ahead, cousin Todd. You want to play your little cousin
No,
Todd? What did
I
Stephen call me? You want to play your video? Little
no,
Todd, little
I
cousin
don't.
Todd.
I don't. No.
I gotta.
Uh-uh.
Let me just say that
No, I gotta
Stephen,
go.
they don't really care about slavery because with the same, they don't
We're
care
not
about
talking about
slavery
that.
either.
We're just.
In other words, they can't claim they can't hold the
You
founding
guys don't trust the
fathers
government, but you want the government to make these
accountable for
decisions for you.
slavery because
Listen to none.
by the same that they say they're not for abortion, yet they support abortion-like policies. So they cannot say that they are against slavery and support slavery.
Just
It's not the
shut
same
up,
thing.
man.
It's not the
God,
same
So
thing.
that's not the
That's
same
a false
thing.
equivalent.
No, it's not.
They do not. They
Stacey,
do
all
not
I'm
care
saying,
about
let
all
me
life.
I'm
read over the
saying
break.
is
They don't care
Y'all
about
got
I
living
don't trust
people.
the government to make these decisions.
Please
The
read.
government should stay out of people's
The
private
government
matters.
should not tell me I can't kill people. The government cannot tell me I cannot go and shoot 45 people. Why is that
That's
a
not the
crime?
same thing.
If I
You're
have
trying to
45
you can
abortions,
feel
if I
like we
kill
need to clip
45
that
babies,
audio
then that's
because
okay,
he should
right?
be on a watch
It's not the
list.
same
If I
thing.
kill 45 babies, hey, after 25 babies, I know by getting penis in my vagina, that's how I
not
get
the
pregnant.
same. That's not the same thing.
It
You're making
is the
it
same.
make yourself
You're
look like an
killing
idiot.
a human
You're
being.
just talking.
Are people
Stacey, I
so
feel bad for you
retarded that they
sometimes.
can't put a condom on or take a pill?
No,
There's
that's
ways
not
to
the
not to get
situation.
pregnant.
Again,
Why are people
it's a
having
private matter.
Okay,
casual
this is going
sex
like
You're
and
not
having
we're
making
not going to go.
abortions? Why are people having
Stacey,
casual
We're not
sex and
going to
having
go. We're going to
trying to
go.
abortions?
make an extreme
It's
case.
good to go.
Stephen,
Look, it's go
You're
to
trying to
as
make an
quick
extreme
to
case
these
to
while
prove
we
your point,
can.
but you're wrong.
I-
It's a
I
private
tell you
Kill
one
matter.
that
thing.
baby. Kill
The
that
Fine.
people
baby.
who are regulating the other
hey,
people's
Stephen,
sex are the people who don't have
Stephen,
I
sex
don't
per
want to
se.
regulate
You
anybody's
always
sex. I don't
notice
care
You
the
that.
just
sex you
said.
have.
You
I don't
just
want to hear
said.
about it.
You know what I'm
Just
saying?
don't
You
get
always
So it's
pregnant
a
notice
and
private
kill
matter, right?
somebody.
It's a private.
Hey,
It's
if
a
I
private
was,
matter.
they've been
You
out
just
the
you
said
game
you
don't
20
kill.
years trying to stop
You
everybody
do
else from
not
having fun.
murder.
no.
God
Stacey,
said
Stephen,
you
Okay.
do not murder.
Again,
Do not murder. Y'all are supporting murder. That's not
no,
shut
we're
up,
killing.
saying
man.
that
It's
we're
murder.
saying the government should stay out
Stephen,
of
hey,
people's
Stephen,
You
affairs.
support,
You're trying to make
government can't say that my
It's like
56-year-old
between
ass
me and
can't
my
shoot
God.
I
somebody
Only
on
God
the
support
can
street.
judge.
suntan
I
lotion.
should be
You
able to
can't
shoot
judge.
people
I
that piss me
You
support.
off
can't
then.
judge. It's
All
not the
right,
same
I'll
thing.
stop
That's wrong.
stabbing people in
You
their
can't
Okay.
head.
judge.
All right. We
Well,
don't want to,
Stacey,
you
you
know,
The
have a
we
good
don't
government
want
night.
can
It
tell
was
you
nice
not to
talking to
murder
you and
people.
Laguna and Cousin Todd.
The,
Y'all have
Okay,
a
no,
good
we
night.
It's
do
not the
not
same
want to
thing.
the
talk about
government
It's not
should
the
tell
same
doing
you
thing.
don't
doing
murder
We've
harm.
people.
used this argument before.
Excuse
It's
me,
not
we're
the
They'll
not
same
going to
thing.
talk about we're not going to talk about doing harm to anyone. That's
they'll
wrong to do
shout
harm
not
to
murder.
anyone.
They'll shout not
All right.
murder.
Good
That's
night.
Did you
what
Happy
miss
New
that
Year.
trying
commandment?
to use
Happy
trigger words
holidays.